Be one heck of a match. McNamara gets us started, sending out wide to Anthony Novak, and Anthony Novak's unable to bring that one down, and it goes off of the Woodbridge defender and out of bounds. Al James throws it in to the foot of Judah Hernandez, and he got it off to Phil Villela, who wasn't able to hold on to the ball there, and Woodbridge are back the other way. A little quick interplay there between Emmanuel Isaac and Christian Cavallini, but they're unable to retain the ball. Mr. McNamara over onto the right wing for Matt Santos, and it's Judah Hernandez out wide, laying it off for Phil Villela. Villela in the corner with it now. The George Brown Huskies leading scorer is Phil Villela. We've got a couple players making strong performances this year in the college and university ranks. Christian Cavallini currently leading the York Lions in scoring, and last I checked was, if not the top scorer, in the top 3 in U Sport right now. I mentioned Phil Villela. He's got the league lead in goals, or at least he did over the weekend, for the George Brown Huskies, and Matt Santos is leading scorer for the Oakville Blue Devils and continues to be at the top of the scoring charts for the Sheridan Bruins as well, and they're having a pretty decent season. Well, they're tough against the Humber Hawks and George Brown Huskies this year. Humber Hawks featuring Luca Baldessari, who's lined up here for the Strikers. Looks like he'll be coming off the bench today. They call him the super sub. He's teamed up with Jameel Hoylett for those once again undefeated Humber Hawks. Talking about fantastic records, the Oakville Blue Devils set the record for points this year in League 1 after going 18-2-2 to close out the season. Pretty remarkable feat right there. The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Woodbridge throw. Woodbridge Strikers on the other side of the coin here with 9 clean sheets on the season for Quillen Roberts, and what a season they've had. We're going to see them try to hold on to the ball as long as possible, and we're going to watch Oakville do their best to interrupt that using a bit of speed and power. They're definitely a very formidable opponent, very strong, talented players, and that's what put them into first place in the league for almost the whole season. They had a bit of a slip up against Sigma, but after that it was all Oakville all the time. Play whistle down here as got into the back of the Woodbridge striker. Former U20 captain Dylan Carrero standing over the ball right now. Played some time at Airboth and Barth, I guess you pronounce it, and Dundee United in Scotland before he returned home to Canada. And a great tip there by Matt George to push the ball out of bounds. Very dangerous attack from Woodbridge has been quelled there. Big ball put into the box by Carrero. I mentioned earlier that he was the captain of the Canadian U20 team. He was also the U20 Player of the Year here in Canada in 2014. He brings a wealth of experience back to League 1 Ontario, and we'll see what happens with him next year as the ball goes into the box off of that Woodbridge corner. And Oakville look to bring the ball back the other way. Matt Santos has it wide on the wing now. Searching ball, looking for Phil Villela, and cries from the crowd here as they think that Mike Krasminski might have handled that one with a forearm. So he was laying back deep in his own end to stop the Oakville attack. Play whistle down again, and it'll be a Woodbridge ball on the far side right now. You can hear Oakville's keeper Matt George directing his players to line up on the 18-yard box. He's hoping he doesn't have to do that again. The ball pings around, Corden lays it off, and Woodbridge give it all the way back to Quante Abbott-Hill-Smith. And he plays it back out wide to that left wing. Partis Proctor with it now, and he lays it off to Emmanuel Isaacs. Carrero with it now in the middle. Broken up there by Victor Gallo, and he's got his head up and he's looking for someone. He's got Matthew Santos on the wide side. The ball comes back, and Oakville will slow things down here. Looking to spring an attacker there.
Keep the ball, come on!
Was Brandon Duarte. He had no one there. Duarte back from university this weekend to try and help out his Oakville Blue Devils squad. Say it again, the place in the Canadian Championship lays in wait for whoever can win this game. Victor Gallo deals with that ball. Hitesh Joshi with it now. Duarte had it on the sideline, gave it to Mr. McNamara, high school gym teacher, captain of the Oakville Blue Devils with his bleach blonde hair. Gallo will get us back underway, puts the ball in towards the box, but that's dealt with by the Woodbridge back line, and they're back the other way. Isaac Springs, number 18, Marco Nunes, but he was deemed offside there. Nunes, healthy scratch 2 weeks ago against Oakville. A surprise to everyone is he was actually on the game sheet for the match, but never did end up making it to the match. Isaac tackled from behind. And Oakville are back the other way. Cries for foul there as Judah Hernandez slid in from behind, but got all ball. Krasminski with it now. Some fancy footwork, and he steps onto the ball. And Oakville calm with it now in their own end. As Victor Gallo looks for one of his teammates, but sends it right to a Woodbridge player. A lot of long balls here, uncharacteristic for both squads early on in this match. We'll see if they can get things settled down. Both teams do play a possession-based offense, and maybe they're trying something new. I know that Oakville were practicing their penalties in training over the weekend, as they know that the odds are against them if Woodbridge score first. So they'll be definitely trying not to make any mistakes here early on and keep themselves in this match. Corden flicks that one back to Partis Proctor. He finds Isaac in the middle, and sliding in is Mr. McNamara. Villela with it now, gives it to Hernandez. Hernandez to Mr. McNamara. McNamara gets it out wide for Duarte. He springs Matt Santos on the edge of the box, and just what can he do with it? He put it between the legs of the Woodbridge defender, but no one was there for Oakville in the middle of the box waiting for that, and it'll be a Oakville throw-in. Joshi throws that one in long, and look for him to do that throughout this match. That's another key element to this Oakville game plan that we've seen all year long, is the long throw. They scored off it on a couple occasions, most notably in my recollection is the throw-in that almost went in the net against Windsor earlier this year in an 11-0 or 11-1. They scored a lot, but he almost threw it in the goal. Luckily someone got their head on it and put it in. We've got another Oakville throw-in here, or corner kick, rather, that. Early in the match here, 9th minute of play. From Woodbridge from Vaughan, rather, that. From the Ontario Soccer Centre, and ball's put in to the far post. Hitesh Joshi, or Victor Gallo, puts that back into the box, but Quillen Roberts comes out to collect that ball. The keeper with such a wealth of experience under his belt, playing in the Toronto FC system and several times for the Canadian Youth National setup. This ball goes all the way to former Woodbridge Strikers keeper Matt George, who was a perennial all-star with this Woodbridge squad. Matt Santos on it now, puts a ball into the box, broken up there by Partis Proctor, or Kyle Watson. I'll get it right one of these days. Al James to Villela, out to Hernandez. Novak with it now on the sideline. Novak with time, cuts back into the middle of the pitch, lays it off to McNamara. McNamara dinks it over the top, but Quillen Roberts is able to collect that one and get it out quickly, and he's looking to spring one of his teammates, and he has. We've got an early chance here, and Woodbridge score! What a goal by Marco Nunez! The assist from Quillen Roberts, and what a mistake there by Victor Gallo. 11th minute of play, and Woodbridge go up early, and this is exactly what Oakville were hoping would not happen. This is an absolute nightmare scenario for the Blue Devils. As, if I'm correct, Woodbridge have lost only once this season after taking the lead.
11th minute by number 11.
We know they don't give up goals, so this could really open things up now in this match, as Oakville are going to have to take their chances, and it's Marco Nunez.
Sorry, correction on the
11th minute of play with the goal.
By number 18, Marcus Nunez.
Another ball over the top. We'll see how Gallo deals with it this time. Very out of character for Gallo to miss a ball like that. He was an all-star this year and had a phenomenal game getting into the second half of that match against the PLSQ All-Stars. We'll see what Oakville can do here. Down early, 1-0 against Woodbridge Strikers. Oscar Corden with it now. Turns and looks and gives the ball away. Duarte gets it to Santos. Fancy footwork, and Santos puts a shot in on goal and just wide of the net. Had Roberts sprawling for that one. Great work there by the Oakville Blue Devils to at least come back and take their chances here. It's a position they're not used to being in, especially not this early in a game. Isaac with it now. It's it back to Kyle Watson, who lofts one up over the top for Nunez. Stolen there by Duarte. Duarte gets it up to Villela. Villela out wide for Mr. McNamara. McNamara into the box, but nobody there for that ball as Michael Kreminski chases that one down on the sideline. And it looks like the work rate here from Woodbridge is something that perhaps Oakville just weren't ready for, as they're running them all over the pitch right now. Carrero lays it off, gets it back, and lays it off again for number 6, Joshua Partis Proctor, who puts a ball in towards the box looking for Kreminski. He's not there. Long ball looking for Matthew Santos is broken up quickly, and Oscar Corden will lay that one off. Abbott Hill Smith over to Watson. Partis Proctor lays it off to Kreminski. Kreminski and Carrero were called into the Canadian national team set up earlier this year, and a chance there is, looks like Nunez went to put a cross in, and that was broken up by Connor McNamara. There's no love lost between those two. Nunez actually was a member of the Blue Devils last year. As I understand it, there wasn't maybe the best of relationship between Nunez and maybe the rest of the squad. So we'll see how that plays out throughout this match. A little salt in the wound there as he's got the goal in the 11th minute. Put Woodbridge up 1-0 early on in this match. And we'll see if there's any response from the Blue Devils. Steven Almeida is going to saunter on down into the Oakville end and take his time to throw this one in. Gets it into Nunez, and he's quickly brought down. That'll be a quick kick here for the Strikers. Mr. McNamara having a little after-school talk with the referee. Left-footed ball into the box. How does George deal with this? Easily, that's how. And a quick throw out to release Matthew Santos. And Santos is back the other way. Who's he got in support with him here? Puts the ball in, but it goes off the back of Duarte. Krasminski with it now. Partis Proctor off to Almeida. Partis Proctor with it again. Out wide to Krasminski on the right side. Manuel Isaac with it now. You might not recognize him without his long locks to cut him off. Still appears to have the same strength. Unlike Samson, supposedly lost his strength when he cut his hair. Phil Villela hasn't cut his, and he's got it now, and the referee was going to play advantage there, but called it dead as there was no advantage to be played. Plain and simple. Mr. McNamara back out to Duarte. McNamara with it again. McNamara lost the ball there. Woodbridge are coming back, and goal. That'll get him a talking to for sure here. As Victor Gallo was in very physically on that challenge.
Tonight's men's championship final is fueled by Gatorade, the official sports fuel of League 1 Ontario. Try the new Gatorade Frost.
These two teams had a very physical match back at Bronny Athletic Field to close out the season and advance both these teams into this game. You might have seen if you happened to catch a little preview I put together for this game, which you can still find on YouTube, and if you go on my Twitter account, fiercelang_TV, you can find a link to it there. Don't know how much good it'll do you now that we've got a 1-0 lead, and Krasminski puts a shot in towards goal, just wide of the net. 18th minute of play here, and we're going to pay the bills.
We stay wide and we go and play.
Today's League 1 men's final action is fueled by Gatorade, the official sports fuel of League 1 Ontario. Try the new Gatorade Frost today. Gatorade Frost, your fuel to play cool. I don't know how many times we're going to talk about this. I'm a fan of the white one. If I'm picking a Gatorade Frost, there's always debate for that here in the play-by-play booth. Oscar Corden. All the way back to Watson. Out to Krasminski on the left side. Watson with it again. Abbott Hill Smith out wide for Almeida. Almeida puts the ball in, but it goes off the back of Anthony Novak right to Connor McNamara. McNamara with a searching pass there for Matthew Santos, and he's on the end of that one. And he cuts inside and got around Abbott Hill Smith, but stops and turns it back. Turns back again, puts a ball into the box, and Quillen Roberts gets his mitts on that and puts it back the other way. Dylan Carrero with a full head of steam coming in on Victor Gallo, lays it off wide. And Cavallini was offside.
Thanks to League 1
and we're seeing a very quick counterattack here. Very uncharacteristic for Woodbridge Strikers, as they're showing no mercy. Putting the pedal to the metal, trying to get themselves up another goal now that they've opened Oakville up to start this match. 20 minutes of action here from the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan, the city above Toronto, the city of Vaughan. Oscar Corden. Nunez on it again. He's gone into the box. What can he do with it? Puts it right in on George, and he handles that one easily. He throws it out wide for Matt Duarte. Duarte slows things down. Takes a second phenomenal turn there, and he's tripped up by Krasminski. Very quick feet there from Matthew Duarte.
On if you go!
Oakville get us started back up. Hitesh Joshi on the wing looking for Anthony Novak, but was unable to connect the 1 to the 2 there. Watson looking for Krasminski, but just ahead of him and out of bounds for an Oakville throw. Joshi with the long throw. Phil Villela with it now, but that's broken up. McNamara on it. Mr. McNamara wide for Anthony Novak.
We've got to get
Novak takes his time on it, puts it into the box, and he's found Phil Villela. What can Phil Villela do? Oh! Puts one in, and Quillen Roberts had no trouble dealing with that. Almeida with it now, crossing half. He's got his head up and he's looking for a man. Cuts it back inside. Sends it all the way back for Watson. Curtis Proctor, rather. Isaac with it now, and he's looking for Krasminski, and a little bit behind him, and it'll go out of bounds for another Oakville throw. A lot of balls cheaply turned over here from Woodbridge, uncharacteristically. Might be because they're trying to up the pace, which is, again, uncharacteristic for the squad. And I don't know if you guys can see this right now, but what a phenomenal crowd we've got here in Vaughan for this match. I was in the Ontario Soccer Centre before this game, and plenty of young fans made their way up from Oakville as Anthony Novak has it in the box, lays it off for Villela. Villela rounds the corner, puts it into the box, and goes out of bounds for a...
Let's get the goal!
And what a gorgeous facility this is, the Ontario Soccer Centre. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to make it up here, but phenomenal job they've done putting this field and facility together. Oakville line up for another corner kick. Mr. McNamara in, but over the goal and out of bounds, and another wasted opportunity here from the Blue Devils. Surely disappointing for them as Quillen Roberts wastes no time getting this ball back into play, sends it deep into the Oakville end. And Joshi tried to head that one clear. Woodbridge again with it now in the middle of the pitch. Krasminski has it out wide on the left side. Puts the ball in, and nobody there for that in a white jersey. As Matt George will slow things down yet again.
Come on, boys, need shape.
Coach Duncan Wild yelling to his squad to keep their shape. One of the big talking points before this game, talking to Coach Peter Pinizzotto of the Woodbridge Strikers, was how much of a role discipline would play in the matches. He expects things to certainly crank up in physicality, as we saw towards the end of the last match, as I mentioned before. Al James puts a ball into the box, and Roberts comes out to collect that.
Going across from that, need to play.
Roberts will throw it out wide for Almeida.
Come on!
He's closed down by Mr. McNamara. Almeida will slow things down and turn it around, give it back to Oscar Corden. Abbott Hill Smith with it now. Got his head up and looking for a teammate. Corden found someone and he's got his head up. Whoever he was looking for did not know that's where he was supposed to go. As that ball sailed clear of absolutely everyone and right to Matt George. Connor McNamara with it now, out to Al James. James to Villela. Anthony Novak puts a ball in for Matthew Santos, and it's a foot race, and he's beaten to that one by Quillen Roberts. Great hustle there from the young striker. Almeida with it now. He got that up to Cavallini, and Cavallini's ball was wasted. Judah Hernandez on it now. Gets it back to Connor McNamara. Hernandez with it again, the former Trinidad and Tobago national. Matthew Santos with it now in the Woodbridge end. battling in the corner and puts it off of Abbott Hill Smith and out of bounds. He hasn't had a ton of opportunities to operate here in this first half, but you'll notice he does such a phenomenal job of drawing drawing defenders away from the Oakville attack and creates space for his teammates. Something you don't see a lot of right now is that sensibility in a player to know where to be at all times as Philella receives the throw in.
Get in the box!
Gets it to Santos. Santos puts it in for Novak, and Novak takes a shot on goal, or just wide of the goal, rather that. And immediately the training staff are being called out onto the pitch.
League One partners Soccer Express for the
The Woodbridge defender went sliding in and went down in a heap as he challenged that shot. Not quite sure who it is down on the pitch right now.
Winners will be announced at half, so don't miss out. Be sure to also ask members of the Soccer Express team about how they can supply your custom
Very different
and club apparel needs.
interactions between the coaching staffs and their players right now. Coach Peter Pinizzotto having a quiet word right now with Manuel Isaac. Duncan Wild is feeding instructions to at least 5 Oakville Blue Devils as they've come in to collect some water here early in the first half. I'd love to tell you what the game time was right now, but the scoreboard seems to be down. Looks like we're entering into the 28th minute of play here, close to. These technical difficulties sorted out. And it looks like our man is to his feet. And it was Kyle Watson. Kyle Watson, so integral to this Woodbridge defense. They've had the best goals against average in the league all 4 years of League One. And he's been a key to that. He's been one of the leaders in minutes played this season as Mr. McNamara puts a ball into the box. The right-footed in-swinging kick, but Oakville aren't able to do anything with that as Matthew Santos' volley goes sailing high over the goal.
Get our shape! Come on! Do it early! Drop, Anthony!
Roberts to get us back underway here.
50 seconds!
A little bit more of a slower approach from him than we've seen in the last 10-15 minutes. He'll loft the ball up over the halfway mark. Connor McNamara will chest that one down and play it all the way back to Matt George. Matt George was integral to the last 3 years of that Woodbridge defense. Made his way over to Oakville after Carmen Sayani left for Husqvarna in Sweden before the season started. The ball played up. And they're looking to spring the attack here once more through Marcos Nunez. Nunez with it now on the far side. Back to Hardis Proctor. He gets it to Krasminski. Krasminski's on the sideline with it. He's tackled there. Goes down in a heap. Lets out a scream as he does. Duarte plays it up for Matt Santos. That's broken up by Emmanuel Isaac. Hardis Proctor with it. He's found Carrero, the former U20 national captain, puts the ball in and it's over the goal, high and wide.
At the 29-minute mark in this championship game, we have the Woodbridge Strikers 1, Oakville Blue Devils 0.
Mitesh Joshi with it on the left side. It looks like he's switched sides right now to come deal with this Woodbridge attack. Ball put into the box there, and Quillen Roberts handles it once more. He's in absolutely no rush to get this game back underway. Throws it out wide for Michael Krasminski. Krasminski looking for Cavallini, and Cavallini and Krasminski must have got their wires crossed yet again. And Matthew George will roll the ball out to allow Mike Krasminski to get some medical attention. We're 30 minutes into the match right now. We've got our second break here, so we're going to talk to you about something I found real interesting as I was looking through the stats ahead of this match. A couple weeks ago, the Ladies Championship Trophy was given out to the FC London squad led by Jade Kovacevic, who absolutely destroyed all competition, scoring more goals in a single season than Sandjacks have in their last 3. Now that's quite an impressive feat, and you have to wonder how a player that dominant isn't getting a look by the Canadian national squad at this time. Only time will tell if anything happens there, but yet another phenomenal year for Jade Kovacevic, leading her squad to their second straight League 1 Ontario Women's Championship. Searching ball for Cavallini. Al James plays that one back to Matt George. George sends the ball up high, looking for Judah Hernandez, and he gets a push in the back from Dylan Carrero, or Oscar Corden rather that. Oakville will get us restarted. Hitesh Joshi has it on the left side. Gets it out to Anthony Novak. Anthony Novak puts the ball into the box, but Abbott Hill Smith is there. Woodbridge cleared out only as far as Connor McNamara, who heads it up. His brother Taylor has it now, and he'll play it out. Looks as though Anthony Novak is back to his feet, but he's a little bit hobbled here. Novak, one of 3 Oakville Blue Devils in the top 10 for scoring this season. With 10 goals, he was tied with 2015 Golden Boot winner, right? Phil Villela, ahead of them both, at 6th in lead scoring with 16 goals.
At the 32nd mark in this match, we currently have a score of Woodbridge Strikers 1, Oakville Blue Devils 0.
All the way down to the Oakville end, and Matt George will turn the ball the other way, get it to Connor McNamara, and he's got plenty of time and space. Woodbridge are doing the gentlemanly thing here, letting Oakville restart their attack after they so graciously put the ball out while they were on the attack. Luella taken down there with a knee in the back of his knee. And that was something Coach Wild thought might come into play here, as he was a bit concerned with how much Woodbridge might be allowed to get away with, as Phil Villela does receive a lot of attention and does draw a lot of fouls, has done so every year since he's joined the league. Mr. McNamara gets his back underway with a right-footed ball into the box. Cleared with a header out, and Dylan Carrero has it now. Some fancy footwork there, broken up by Matthew Duarte. Hitesh Joshi and lay it off to Matt George, and he lumps one up over half. Electric Phil Villela lays it off to McNamara. McNamara gets it back up to Villela. Villela for Santos, lays it off for Hernandez. He's got Duarte, and he was looking for Victor Gallo streaking up that right side, and Woodbridge are attacking right down the left wing. Lucky to get a ball across the face of Judah Hernandez there, as they were looking for Marcus Nunez. Carrero with it, and he's brought down by Judah Hernandez, and it'll be a Woodbridge free kick. And Oakville asleep at the wheel as Woodbridge got started quickly. Gotta love you call it audacity when it doesn't work. You gotta love the audacity of that attempt. Luella takes the shoulder into the back there from Hardest Proctor. Gordon back the other way, gets it to Isaac. Isaac, Hardest Proctor. He gets it out wide for Dylan Carrero. Carrero finds Nunez in the Oakville box. He lays it off for Cavallini. And this is where the Woodbridge pressure really starts to build as they maintain possession in the Oakville end as much as they possibly can, but that's broken up by Duarte yet again. As Watson and Santos battled for that ball as it came up over the halfway mark. Ball in for Isaac, broken up by Joshi. And then they call Bob, lays it off on the left side for Anthony Novak. And he returns the favor for Joshi. Can he chase this one down before it goes out of bounds? And he cannot.
We are now entering the 37th minute.
That ball goes out of bounds for another Woodbridge throw-in. Almeida will get us back underway. Throws it into Isaac. Isaac's ball goes off of Anthony Novak and out of bounds.
No noise, no turn, boy. Go backwards.
Cavallini and Joshi were battling for it there, and Cavallini's got it again. Full head of steam here, but can't round Connor McNamara. Connor gets it back to Joshi. Hernandez on it now, turns. Looks out wide for Victor Gallo. Gallo with it now. Sliding in to break that up was Watson. Villela with it on the left side. Gets it into Novak. Broken up by Abbott Hill Smith, but Villela has it again and he's going down into the corner. Novak with it. Out to Joshi. Villela with it. Broken up by Oscar Corden.
Come on, we got it work!
Hardest Proctor. Out wide for Carrero. Back to Hardest Proctor. Carrero with it again. Cheaply given away there to Al James. Al James never quite gets the attention he deserves. He's been an absolute stalwart for the last 3 seasons in defense for the Oakville Blue Devils. Player Coach Duncan Wild relies on heavily to keep the clock ticking for this Oakville Blue Devils squad. Santos with it now at the top of the box. Santos into the box. And Abbott Hill Smith will get the call as he battled with Santos for that ball. One nothing for the Woodbridge Strikers here at the Ontario Soccer Centre in the city of Vaughan. Woodbridge clearance is allowed to go out of bounds on the opposite end of the pitch for an Oakville throw. As always, Atash Joshi throws the ball in for Oakville, gets it to Novak, he tests that down. Broken up by Corden. But Oakville come away with it. Mr. McNamara cutting in towards goal, lays it in for Anthony Novak. Can he catch up to this one? He puts the ball in. Got it just before. No, it did. It went over the line. Calling that one back. Be a goal kick for Quillen Roberts, and he gets us back underway rather quickly. Gets it out to Almeida. Almeida looking for Nunez. McNamara breaks it up and gets it to keeper Matthew George. He'll take his time on this. Looking for a target. Good strong boot up over half, but Almeida heads that one back into the Oakville end. Joshi collected that and got it to Novak. Novak over to Hernandez. Hernandez in for Duarte, who chips one up over the top for Matt Santos. He can't control it. But the ball goes out and it'll be an Oakville throw-in.
Next gear, boys, come on now!
Matt George calling note to his team to kick it into another gear, and that's one of those things that he brings to this Oakville squad that Coach Duncan Wild's happy about. He keeps his team motivated back there, keeps them organized, keeps them focused on the game, and that'll be a handball on Connor McNamara.
Pick up everyone!
What was going on with that play? It was, from here, very clearly a handball. Isaac dipsy doodling with it in the middle of the pitch, and he's taken down and dispossessed by Connor McNamara. Colin Roberts is high clearance. Finds the head of McNamara, who finds his brother. He's looking for, well, I'm not sure who he was looking for, someone. Hernandez breaks up the Woodbridge attack, gets it out to Duarte. Brandon's pass for Matthew Santos is broken up by Krasminski. Nunez looking for Krasminski on the left side, and it's a foot race between Krizzy and Victor Gallo.
We are now entering the 42nd minute.
As you just heard the announcer doing his job there, we're in the 42nd minute of play here. This championship final for Ontario League 1 men's division. Winner take all. Winner goes on to play in the Canadian Championship. These players, whether they know it or not, are under the watchful eye of Canadian national coach Tavio Zambrano. Looking over his sheets here, he called in Dylan Carrero and Mike Krasminski into his camp ahead of the Jamaican game against Canada. Gotta look at those boys.
Let's get them up! Judah! Taylor, get some shit!
Crowd's getting a little riled up here as the tension continues to build in this championship final. Woodbridge are looking to complete the double as they enter the match. The Cup champs, they beat their crosstown rivals, Vaughan Missouri. That's their second championship, their second Cup championship rather than the last 3 years. Cavallini with it now in the box. Steps outside the box and puts the ball back in. Oakville break it up. From one McNamara to the other and out of their end. Abbott Hill Smith and Santos battle for it. Abbott Hill Smith with it, coming down the right side, puts the ball off one of the Oakville defenders and out of bounds. It'll be a Woodbridge throw-in. Almeida will come up to take this throw. Finds Cavallini, but he lost it. Oakville look to clear, but Abbott Hill Smith's there to stop the counter-attack. But Oakville are back the other way. Santos keeps it in. He's got a full head of steam, tries to cut back inside, but Oscar Cordon's there to close the door. Cordon with the no-look pass. Almeida taken down by Duarte. Partis Proctor stands over the ball. Puts us back underway. Decides to give it all the way back to Quillen Roberts. And this is what we were expecting out of this Woodbridge squad early, not this quick fire attack that we've seen from them throughout most of the first half. Playing the ball out of the back is usually the way they like to play. Isaac out wide for Cavallini, and Isaac gets the ball back deep in the corner. Outruns Judah Hernandez for that ball. Isaac gives it back to Cavallini. Out to Partis Proctor.
The fourth official has
Krasminski
indicated that there
to
will be a
Cavallini and
minimum
back to Krasminski
of
again.
3 minutes of added time.
Krasminski with it. We've got a minimum of 3 minutes to be added on to this first half of action. Broken up there by Al James. Great the theatrics from Krasminski's. He added a couple barrel rolls onto that one. Isaac with it now. Gives it to Carrero. To Cavallini. Out wide to Krasminski. He's got a full head of steam. Cuts back outside, puts the ball into the box, and it goes off of the defender and out over the touchline for a corner kick. You might be able to pick up on the microphone. Why are we playing like this from Oakville coach Duncan Wild? And he's going to have quite a team talk at halftime with his squad. Clearly none too impressed with their performance so far. Dylan Carrero to put a right-footed in-swing kick into the box here. Referee tells him to get the show on the road. Ball into the box, goes over everyone, and it looks like it might have went off the back of Hitesh Joshi. Matt George's ball goes all the way back to Avid Hill Smith, who plays it all the way back to Glenn Roberts. Oscar Corden back to Avid Hill Smith.
Go to the right, Connor!
Watson with it, or Partis Proctor in Watson's position as it now. Connor McNamara taking down there, but keeps the ball after it gets tangled with Cavallini. Gets it to Judah Hernandez. A wide left for Anthony Novak, who gets it back to Joshi. Novak finds Santos. Connor McNamara with it now. Victor Gallo is deemed offside. Gallo is up in the attack, and they're taking full advantage by putting the ball into his corner. Ball played in for Emmanuel Isaac. Isaac puts the ball into the box. You'll remember he scored 2 goals in that League Cup final against the Azzurri. 1 man on the match. Almeida's shot clear of the goal by several feet. Abigail Smith and Santos battle for it on the left side. Oscar Corden in to challenge and put the ball out of bounds. Palella throws it into Hernandez. Hernandez cuts back into the middle of the pitch and puts a long shot in and missed a few feet over the goal, and that'll be it for the first half of action here from the Vaughan Soccer Centre, or the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan.
Woodbridge Strikers 1.
Protected. Woodbridge come out and play the way they did here in the first half.
Number 16,
Very
Cody Ellis,
quick strike
replacing
offense.
number 13, Matthew Santos.
Marcus Nunez scoring the first goal in the 12th minute of play.
Number 25, Stephen Adamotu, as well, replacing
Oakville
number
making
23,
a couple
Anthony
substitutions
Novak.
here in the second half. With Matthew Santos, the team leading scorer, will be coming off for Stephen Ademolu, formerly of TFC Windsor. Came over to Oakville in late summer and scored a handful of goals to actually decide several games for the Blue Devils. He's been brought on to add a bit more of a physical presence, as Oakville have done a good job getting the ball towards the edge of the box, but they're unable to retain possession. And then Anthony Novak coming out for the speedy Cody Ellis, who's been absolutely dominant this season on attack for the Blue Devils, their 4th leading scorer. Nursing a bit of a tailbone injury right now, actually, as the Blue Devils are none too happy about the call there against Connor McNamara.
Come on, switch up.
Hardest Proctor to get us started here. Plays it off to Krasminski, who finds Cavallini. Cavallini trying to make a play around Victor Gallo, and the ball will roll out of bounds for a Oakville Blue Devils goal kick. Now you might even say that this is more of a full-strength squad for the Blue Devils, as Coach Duncan Wild's always looking to get Stephen Ademalu into the match. He certainly provides a very different tool in the arsenal, or weapon in the arsenal rather, that tool in the toolbox. I was thinking of my Phil Villela electrician analogies I could think up all game, and I've already used one by accident now, so that'll all get crossed off. Pat Duarte heads that ball. We'll go out for a Woodbridge throw. But back to what I was saying, Stephen Ademalu, absolutely dominant physically, and is, as mentioned previously, knotted in a couple headers for the Blue Devils. 36 years old though, so he's living out the glory years here. The Oakville Blue Devils was actually signed by them last year. Didn't end up playing a single game as he had an Achilles injury. I was very disappointed to not be able to play for Coach Wild. Commutes from Windsor, where he lives his life, all the way out to Oakville and wherever else matches are going to be played, so you can assess from that the amount of dedication he has to the game. As Dylan Carrero gets a quick talking to, so does Mr. McNamara. Extracurricular activity there from the gym teacher.
Toronto FC, premier partner of Ontario Soccer.
Score is 1-0 still. Woodbridge Strikers over the Oakville Blue Devils from the Ontario Soccer Centre. Second half of action. Don't know if you caught our Instagram live story that we did at halftime. Rather that, it was on Twitter, but you should be following us on Instagram because we take some great pictures. So it was a live story on the Twitter feed. Is that a Periscope? Whoa, Periscope. I know my stuff. I've used the internet once or twice. Hardest Proctor with it. Carrero now in the center circle. Gets it out to Krasminski. Chests that one down. Cavallini and Gallo battling for it. Cavallini's able to round the corner, but that's collected by Connor McNamara. A careless pass there for Hernandez is broken up by Carrero. Hardest Proctor looking for Emmanuel Isaac, but Oakville break that up easily. The hot topic of discussion at halftime and in conversation with both coaches was the observations made by Quillen Roberts and his ability to find his teammates up the middle and spring a quick attack, which is something we haven't seen from Woodbridge for most of the season. And it looks like we've got a man down on the pitch for the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils 0.
By the looks of it, I can't quite tell you who it is. Might be. No, I was going to say it's Victor Gallo, but he's walking in towards them now.
Thanks to League1 Ontario's partner Peel Regional Police for their continued support. Know that you can always kick off your career with the Peel Regional Police.
Looks like it's Judah Hernandez who's
Peel Regional Police
on the ground right now.
To find out how soccer and career policing will go hand in hand.
Tuned in for the game against TFC3. You'll remember he set that game out with having some chest pains. We'll see what this is all about. One of the elder statesmen of this Oakville squad, Coach Wild, was joking with me earlier in the week about how if he's got him, Mr. McNamara, and Stephen Ademalu in the middle of the pitch, there's over 100 years of experience right there. Oakville will be looking to get a little bit younger next year. bring in some new players to this squad. They've got
Get going, come on.
a ton of great players on their U21 team. Right now they got a kid down in Niagara, last name Pachenko, who's tearing it up.
Keep the ball, come on.
Hernandez makes his way back onto the pitch. There's always someone waiting in the wings at Woodbridge. Countless players there, looking to make their way up to the big team. Mr. McNamara with it, out to Hernandez. Hernandez, his touch is a bit strong as he's looking for Victor Gallo to be released on the right side, but a little bit too far ahead of his teammates.
Green shoes, talk.
Gallo breaks that up. Villela with it now. Duarte with it. Duarte finds Hernandez. Out wide for Cody Ellis. Ellis has it and he turns around. Krasminski puts a ball into the box, but nobody's there. He had everyone beat. Roberts mistimed his attempt to get on the end of that. And the first real opportunity for the Oakville Blue Devils here to start the second half. It's not as though they didn't have chances in the first, just unable to connect the dots whenever they got into the final third. Certainly had a couple opportunities, but it was the one opportunity that Woodbridge had in the 11th minute that is a real difference maker here as they sit 1-0 up on the Blue Devils. Handball there by the Woodbridge attacker. And we've got a substitution here.
Entering the match for the Oakville Blue Devils is number 10, Braden Culver.
Braden Culver will be coming in for Judah Hernandez. Oakville
Replacing number 8,
will now be using their third substitution of the match very early in the second half. 9 minutes into the second half here, so that put us at, what, the 54th minute of play? I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, so I didn't study. I'm certainly not the best at math, so if I'm wrong, feel free to tweet at me at @PierceLang_TV. McNamara's ball is headed out of danger and all the way back to Victor Gallo. He finds Cody Ellis on the right side. Ellis still on the ball, puts it between the legs of Krasminski. And slides in to try and save it from going out. Got under, roll out, over touch. Roberts will do what he's done all game and gets things started up quickly here for the Strikers. Nunez gets the call as Al James slid in and looked like he got the ball there from my point of view, but I've been wrong once before in my life. We won't talk about that time.
Yellow card issued to the Oakville Blue Devils, number 22, Al James.
Space!
That was in the 56th minute.
Deal with the space!
56th minute of play here from the Ontario Soccer Centre. Woodbridge Strikers and the Oakville Blue Devils in the League 1 Ontario men's final. Dylan Carrero puts a ball into the box off his right foot. And it looks like Hardis Proctor and Stephen Ademalu were battling for that one. It was Watson, not Hardis Proctor. They look alike. You'll have to cut me a break here. I think they've got the same barber. Matt George hoofs the ball up to half, and Emmanuel Isaac will head that one out. Definitely a different change of pace here in the second half. Everyone's watching the time slip through the hourglass. or the sand. I'm going to get that analogy right once this year, I'm sure. Before the end of the game at least, hopefully. Holy moly. Sand through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives as Oakville head back up the pitch. This is our new substitution. Braden Culver almost had Cody Ellis with the long searching ball along the carpet. Lack of communication there from the Woodbridge defense. Victor Gallo puts another ball in towards, well, a bunch of guys, white and blue shirts there. Almeida, he loses it. Culver with it now. Victor Gallo on it. He gets it out to Cody Ellis, and he's tripped up there by Kuzminski. Kuzminski gets a quick talk.
You're now entering the 63rd minute mark.
Victor Gallo will line up to take this one again. One-man line is Oscar Corden there to put up a one-man wall. Gallo's ball into the box, broken up by Curtis Proctor. And it's really him this time. Duarte's got the ball again on the left side. He gave it to Connor McNamara, and first touch of a tractor on that one. He cuts it out of bounds. Otherwise, I could get called for taking down Duarte on the far side. McNamara over it now to get things back underway for the Oakville Blue Devils. Puts the ball into the box nice and high, looking for a Demelu, but Abbott Hill Smith broke that up. Kuzminski got an arm into the back with Cody Ellis. Got himself some time. Ellis still with it in the box. What can he do? Puts it in. The shot in on goal, and Villela gets his own rebound, and on the volley hammers it.
Why are you stopping?
A million miles over the goal. And Coach Peter Pinizzoto's absolutely livid with his squad here now, as they're giving up opportunities to these Oakville Blue Devils after they were watertight the whole first half. Victor Gallo slid in there to break up the Michael Kuzminski charge. Matt George hoops another ball up over the halfway mark. Stephen Ademelu's header flipped on to Phil Villela. Villela looks into the box. Who's he got? On the other end of that, we've got an Oakville goal! What a goal! What an attack! And you can hear the crowd is going absolutely bananas. It was too far away for me to get a real good look at who that was. It could have been Braden Culver. We'll have confirmation on the goal there, but what an attack by the Oakville Blue Devils. And it's that presence of Stephen Ademelu flicking the header on to Phil Villela. And we've got ourselves a match, ladies and gentlemen. We're back drawn level here between Oakville and Woodbridge. And it sounds like we got a fair few Oakville fans in the crowd here, because it was a very different reaction than that first goal. And that's funny because this is virtually a home game for the Woodbridge Strikers. Lord knows they practice about a stone's throw away from here at Devon Grove. It was Brandon Duarte with the goal. Great job getting on the end of that. We've got a substitution coming into the match as Michael Kuzminski's off to the bench. And into the match, number 5. Michael Fahoon. Fahoon's no slouch. He'll come into this one. Big physical presence for Woodbridge, and they've been muscled about a little bit here to start the second half, and Oakville are back the other way. Villela with it now, and he's overran the ball. Much to the dismay of Fahoon. Fahoon gets whistled down. And Oscar Gordon wanted to get his 2 cents into the referee here, and he's going to get a talking to.
In the 67th minute.
Vilella's still down on the pitch. Gordon
Tonight's men's champions final
being pulled aside here, being told to keep his opinions to himself, I think. I could be wrong. Could be friendly conversation. But I'd put my money on it not being a friendly conversation. Oof. Temperatures dropped here all of a sudden too. It was a bit of a balmy evening. I was regretting the jacket for a bit, but it just got real cold here in the last couple minutes. You might say hell froze over as the Blue Devils tied this one up. As cringes abound with that little commentary. Wow, tough crowd up here, guys. We've got a match on our hands tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oakville Blue Devils scratched and clawed their way back into this one. Mr. Gallo with the long throw. For Villela. Call goes Oakville's way. Villela wondering what he's going to have to do to get a call his way here. OCAA's leading scorer. Ellis with it now in the corner. Battling with Abbott Hill Smith. This will be a good matchup, speed and strength. Abbott Hill Smith wins this round. Throws it into Cavallini. Cavallini being given tons of space by Victor Gallo. As Nunez chases the ball that was left for Matt George. Almeida's all over the back of the goal scorer, Brandon Duarte. Ball in for Carrero. He turns quickly. Matt George out to collect that one. Well-timed run there from the Oakville keeper, as he had to make a split-second decision with Nunez closing in on that ball. Very easily could have been 2-1 for Woodbridge there. Great presence of mind by the former Woodbridge keeper. Gordon and Duarte battling for that ball. And Gordon will get called for taking Duarte down after the play. Mr. McNamara to Phil Villela. Villela puts the ball in on Quillen Roberts. And he handles that one with no trouble at all. Punts the ball up over half. Dealt with poorly there by Oakville. And another defensive miscue by the Blue Devils. And up. Marcos Nunez almost with his second goal of the game on an Oakville transgression.
We are now entering the 70th minute mark.
And you heard it there, 70th minute of play from the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan, Ontario. Woodbridge Strikers and the Oakville Blue Devils all knotted up at 1. It's been a great match so far. If you love drama, you've tuned into the right game. Almeida gets up off the ground and gets into the face of a couple Oakville players, feeling he's been hard done by.
Everyone side! Stay inside! Come on! Side!
Curtis Proctor over the ball right now. taking as much time as he possibly can here to get us back underway. Connor McNamara gets on the end of that and heads it to Braden Culver. Culver gets it out to Cody Ellis, who lays it off for Victor Gallo all the way back to his own touchline. He lofts the ball up high and Villela heads it on. Battle there between Ademalu and Watson. Hitesh Joshi with speed to burn, breaks up that Woodbridge attack and lays it off for another speedster. Cody Ellis, full head of steam coming into the Woodbridge box, but Watson's there to shut down that Oakville Blue Devils attack. Well, he's certainly been in Woodbridge's end a lot more here in the second half than we saw in the first half. And Oakville seemed to really gain some confidence after knotting this one up, as you'd imagine they would. But you know they're going to want to get a second one for insurance. As Connor McNamara took an elbow to the schnoz there. But he appears to be okay, and he'll be back the other way. Oakville's
Thank you to League1.
Connor McNamara wondering which way the call's going here, because Trainer was called out because it's obvious he got elbowed in the face.
Needed to take your game to the next level. Visit www.soccerx.com to check out all the latest gear from Adidas,
No one's really sure what's happening.
many more.
Look at his elbow, it might be hurt.
It'll be a drop ball.
It's
a very neutral way to decide that one. No. Quick drop ball there from the referee while no one was looking. Interesting move. Braden Culver has got it. Gets it into Victor Gallo. Corden with it now in the middle. He's got his head up and he's looking for a teammate. He's got Almeida a wide right. And he's looking for Nunez. Full head of steam, still has it. He gets the call out wide right. Duarte got a foot in. He's giving a yellow.
Why is every one of my fouls a yellow card? We get the shit knocked out of us here with nothing. Come on, have a word with him on here.
Coach Wild blowing a gasket on the sideline here.
God's sake, man.
Pretty upset about the yellow for his
He's got a card out.
player. Concerned about the number of yellows his team's received and the lack of yellows Woodbridge have.
Come on, Matt.
Yellow card.
There's a bit of a discrepancy there for sure.
Number 14, Michael Taylor.
The referee's decision has been made and will play on. Curtis Proctor to put a ball in. Puts it in low, and that's easily dealt with by the Blue Devils, and they clear their lines and clear the ball all the way back to Quillen Roberts. He gets it off to Almeida. Out to Curtis Proctor. He's found Carrero. It's so silky smooth as the former U20 captain. Puts a ball in and that goes off the chest of Mr. McNamara. Braden Culver taken down and now there's a yellow coming out of the referee's pocket for Oscar Corden.
Yellow card issued to the Woodbridge Strikers, number 8, Oscar Corden.
Culver certainly made his presence known since coming into this game in the second half. Phenomenal work rate from the young man. Well, you can hear the Woodbridge fans have broken out. They've got a Let's Go Woodbridge chant going. Well, maybe some Oakville fans in there too. You could hear my hesitation before. They're not just battling on the pitch here, folks. They're battling in the stands. Luckily, it's only a verbal battle at this stage. A lot of kids over there, which you love to see. out to watch players who could very well be playing in the Canadian Premier League once that gets up and underway. We're still yet to have a date for an opening day for the league, but everyone waiting with bated breath for that announcement. Play whistle down. It's Christian Cavallini was deemed to have been a little bit too physical, chasing that one down against the Oakville defenders. Victor Gallo gets us back underway, plays it back to Matthew George, and he gets it back and launches the ball looking for Stephen Ademalu. Hardest Proctor just gets right into the back of Phil Villella there. No call yet again. Culver with it now, cuts back inside. And a dainty touch there from Culver into the back of Gordon, and that gets a whistle. You can almost sympathize with Coach Wild after that sequence of play. Duarte with it now. Things are starting to pick up in the aggression level here as we're entering into some minute of play. I'll have some confirmation on what that is for you shortly. Looks to be about the 75th minute or so of action here. 68th by the last tweet that was sent out by League1 Live. That ball will go out of bounds for another Oakville throw-in. Ball's been in the Woodbridge end quite a bit here in the second half, which is distinctly different from what we saw in the first half. And we saw in their last matchup between these two squads. Oh, we've got another chance here for Duarte. He'll want to get more on that header. No power behind that one as it dribbled into Quill and Roberts.
Pick up! Pick up! Pick up!
They're looking to play the ball over the top.
Oh, fucking right!
Nunez was on the end of that, but unable to get anything done, and it seems as though Woodbridge have gotten very much away from their game plan, or at least their standard tactics that we see out of them. I know in talking to Coach Pinizzotto at halftime, he said they kind of got away from the way that they play for a little bit. It was a little bit out of character for his squad, and it seems Oakville's really thrown him for a loop here, tying the game up and keeping the ball in their end. But as I say that, Carrero's got it in, and he puts the ball across the face of goal. It goes all the way to Nunez. Nunez gets it back to Partis Proctor, and some great moves there from Partis Proctor. Maybe a little bit too much. When he's got Abbott Hill Smith, who puts a ball into the box, dealt with by McNamara. Ademalu with it now. Former Canadian national gets it out wide to Phil Villella. Villella gets it to Duarte. Duarte in the box, and a strong challenge there. I don't know if there was much in that for a penalty call, but you can hear the fans losing their cool. And things look like they might be about to kick off here, folks. As we've got a brouhaha in the corner.
I told you what had happened. I told you all what happened.
As things heat up on the pitch, it's continuing to cool down up here in the booth. Holy moly. Zip my jacket up now. Looks like we might have a player or two zipping off the field here if they don't sort themselves out. And this was a concern Coach Peter Pinizzotto had before the game, that discipline was going to become a huge factor in this match. And you can hear, well, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it up here. Coach Duncan Wild certainly concerned about the way this game is going. A couple Oakville players. And Penny's being told to ship out here. Not sure what they were doing over there in the first place. Probably warming up behind the Woodbridge. They're not supposed to be back there as it is. Both of them given red cards. Sorry, I was watching the conversation between Matt George and the Woodbridge bench on the other end. It looks like it'll be the two Oakville players who've been ejected from the match. Maybe a yellow or two here on the field. No word yet on that. We'll see what's happened here. It all gets sorted out in the wash. Never a dull moment. League 1 on Ontario men's soccer action. You can feel it starting to boil over for a couple minutes now, and we saw a little bit of extracurriculars there. And both teams coming together in the corner, and we'll have a better handle of this once we get some word from the referee about who's going to be disciplined on this melee that we've seen here. The official word yet to come down, but everyone, and I mean everyone, is on their feet in the crowd.
Woodbridge strikers substitution in the 78th minute.
Well, we've got one bit of confirmation here for you. Christian Cavallini will be coming out of the game,
Checking out.
and Isaiah Johnson will find his way into the match.
Correction, sorry, number 10, Christian Cavallini.
And we have no word on any discipline here, which is a bit confusing, but once more the referees made their decision. We'll move on. Connor McNamara goes up for the header, and Phil Vallella's all alone. Lead on goal, goes to chip the keeper, but his ball was deflected. Looked like he might have put it wide there, but he's usually a pretty clinical finisher, so we know what happened there now. He went off of Almeida and out of bounds. Sounds like they're yelling, "Let's go Devils." Sounds like they're yelling, "Let's go." Ooh, a header in towards goal there from Cody Ellis. And diving to save that's Connor McNamara, just a little bit out of his reach, but you gotta love the work rate there from the Oakville center back. As Oakville are giving no quarter here to Woodbridge as they continue to apply the pressure. And what a battle there between Joshi and Isaac. And we'll see what happens here.
On the previous play, yellow card issued to the Oakville Blue Devils, number 29, Braden Duarte.
Well, we've got confirmation on one yellow, as Brandon Duarte got.
And a yellow card for the Woodbridge strikers on the previous play is number 3, Kyle Watson.
And we've got a matching pair, as Kyle Watson is also disciplined for his contribution to what we just saw moments ago. Dylan Carrero gets us back on the go, puts the ball in for Isaiah Johnston. Johnston has it in the corner. What can he do with the ball? He's got his head up, a couple stutter steps, and he tries to round Cody Ellis. He's gonna have to be quick to do that, and Ellis gets a foot in and breaks the play up. Great slide there from Partis Proctor to stop Stephen Ademalu. Real battle here on the back line between Villela and Fehu. Carrero cuts into the middle of the park, tries to dink one over the top to Nunez, but Joshi's there. Ball a little bit behind Cody Ellis. Carrero with it again to Partis Proctor. He puts a shot in towards goal and just over the postage stamp corner of Matt George's goal.
Cody,
what an attempt. He was not far off by that. You could hear the gasp from the crowd as it looked like a heat-seeking missile headed for that corner. 1-1. We've had it all
We're now
here.
entering the 8 or 2nd
Physical
minute mark.
play, great passing, big goals, everything you love to see in a match. Nunez with it now. Nunez with a poor touch as that ball goes out off the top of his foot and out of bounds. Victor Gallo will take this throw. Big long throw goes off the head of Oscar Corden and out of bounds. Victor Gallo's throw will go off ahead of Abbott Hill Smith and out of bounds. And this is where you look for Oakville to pull the old Iceland move here and launch a throw in into the box, looking for a Demlu to get on the end of this one and head it in. I'm going to put the odds at 2-1. They look for a Demlu. Someone owes me $1. Gallo's cross goes off of Partis Proctor and it goes up high. It'll be an Oakville corner. As Oakville continue to apply the pressure here in the second half as they look to take the lead. Make their way to the Canadian Championship next year. I don't know if you tuned in at the beginning of this game or you've tuned in partway through, but if you don't know, the winner of this match, League 1 Ontario Men's Final, will go into the Canadian Championship next year. We'll explain a little bit more about that after McNamara puts this ball into the box. Partis Proctor clears that one out. Isaiah Johnston on it now. He gets the ball out wide and Nunez keeps it in. We've got a foot race on our hands up the right side. Nunez puts a ball into the box. Dylan Carrero's got it at the top of the box. What can he do here? He puts it up and he was looking for a streaking Emmanuel Isaac, but he was unable to connect pass. Almeida's at the top of the box. He puts a shot in off the back of Connor McNamara. Almeida, or Ademalu, very casual on the ball in his own end there. The ball put in over everyone across the box. Carrero with it now, puts a shot in towards goal, but just wide of Matt George's net. And it looks like we've got our super sub making his way into the match. As Luke Baldessari will be coming into this one. In the 80th minute of play.
Is number 23, Luca Baldessari.
No word yet on who's going to be coming out.
Exiting the match is number 18, Marco Nunez.
When the official words come down, it's Marco Nunez.
Get Victor back. Get Al on this side and Bob on this side.
So I was saying before, now that we've got a chance to talk, my friends, that the Canadian Championship in 2018 will be featuring, as always, Toronto FC, the MLS Western Division leading Vancouver Whitecaps, that team in Montreal, the Impact, you probably know them, FC Edmonton, the Ottawa Fury, the winner of the PLSQ, which I believe is Greenville? No, don't quote me on that one. And we're still yet to discover who will be representing Ontario. It's going to be one of these two teams. So right now, it's either going to be the Oakville Blue Devils, who currently have 1 goal, or the Woodbridge Strikers, who also currently have 1 goal. We surpassed the 80th minute of play, which, if you recall, last game was when both teams decided to do the old Portugal versus Brazil in that episode of The Simpsons and just passed it back and forth between each other for the last 10 minutes of the game after they'd established both teams would be moving on to this match.
Let's go. On it. Join them now, come on.
And we're finally back underway here at Matt George. Lumps. Clearance. Over the halfway mark. Curtis Proctor's header goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Colella puts it into Demalu, and Demalu's taken down in the box. No call. Well, you can hear the reaction. The Oakville bench is losing their minds. The fans in the stands are losing their minds. But we're back underway. Play continues. And Villela gets called for taking Curtis Proctor down, and I was right. It is AS Blainville, who are your champions in the PLSQ. Almeida with it now. Looks up and finds Luca Baldassare deep in the Oakville end, and he puts the ball across. It's in the 18-yard box. Isaiah Johnson on it. He puts it through the legs of McNamara, but Duarte's able to break that, or Braden Culver rather that. Abbott Hill Smith on it now. To Partis Proctor. He was looking for Carrero, but he muscled the ball out of bounds just in front of him.
It don't make sense. Give me a yellow. It doesn't make any sense.
Tesh Joshi with a big long throw finds Cody Ellis. Villela and Curtis Proctor battle for that. Culver chests one down, puts it over the top for Ademalu. Ademalu puts a shot in, and no mustard on that hot dog as it just drops into the arms of Quillen Roberts. McNamara with it. Plays the ball up, looking for Ademalu. Watson breaks up that attack. Abbott Hill Smith back to Watson. Ellis looking for a teammate, puts it into the box, and he's looking for Duarte. Duarte's taken down in the box, and he's rolling around looking for sympathies. But Woodbridge continue their attack. Out to Isaiah Johnston. Johnston, I don't think anyone at the park knows who he was looking for. You can hear cries from everyone to put the ball out of bounds. Rain Duarte is getting a bit of help there from Quillen Roberts to stretch out a... I have to imagine it's a hamstring injury anytime you see players stretching out like that.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 7 minutes of added time.
So we've got 7 minutes of time to be added on here, and it's understandable, I think. We've had a break for the goal, and certainly a lot of time for whatever you want to call was happening down in the far corner there. And we're going to take a break, I imagine, before any overtime gets played here. We'll have confirmation on what happens after the match. Scratch that. Word has come down from up top that we go straight to penalties here. So I was going to say we're going to have a bit of a break for a quick chat with Gavin Day again, like we did on Periscope at halftime, but there will be no time for that as they're going to line themselves up for pens if nothing's settled here in the last 7 minutes. As we get the ball back into play, Brendan Duarte will make his way back onto the pitch. And now I cannot confirm for you that Woodbridge were practicing penalties. However, I can confirm for you that Oakville were in their training session that I attended on Saturday. I think they had a feeling that it might come down to this, as they weren't going to give up too many opportunities to this Woodbridge side, and they knew Woodbridge were going to do the same.
Where's he going, Rap? Sit down! You get 10 yards every fucking throwing?
Now, while we won't have a Periscope live story before the penalties, we will certainly have one after the match for you. With myself and Gavin Days. Quillen Roberts came out well to challenge on that ball. And he put it out off of, well, I guess they're saying it went off of Cody Ellis, but everyone else seems to think it went off of one of his teammates. But Oakville will have the ball, so they can't complain too much. Mr. McNamara on it again. I'll put this ball into the box. Again, I'm going to put a loony down here, saying that this ball's probably going to be looking for Stephen Ademalu. See what they do. Oh, I lost this bet this time. It's the McNamara brothers passing between themselves. Almeida heads that one clear. And Cody Ellis is... Nope, I'll get it right. It's Al James. His pass found absolutely no one and went out of bounds. Duarte clears that one out for a Woodbridge throw as we're in time added on here. Played the full 90. Woodbridge went into half up a goal.
Everybody in, come on!
After a defensive miscue by Victor Gallo allowed Marcus Nunez in all alone on Matt George, and he made no mistake about finishing the play. And here in the second half, Brandon Duarte got on the end of a cross and put it into the gaping goal to knot things up. Not once. Abbott Hill Smith and Ademalu battle here at half. And Villela finally gets a call here in this match. He's been down on the ground quite a bit. And Abbott Hill Smith will get a yellow. Captain Carrero comes over to have a word with the referee.
Yellow card issued to the Woodbridge strikers, number 2, Duarte Abbott Hill Smith.
Woodbridge will fall back into their own end here and try and settle things down. Victor Gallo standing over the ball, telling Hitesh Joshi, get into the box now, buddy. We got to make something happen here. The high ball goes into the box. McNamara up for it, but Woodbridge are able to clear it. Joshi out wide to Ademalu. Ademalu charging in hard. Battling, what a physical specimen he is. And Oakville are getting the call here. Not sure what the call is. Certainly, if it was for the play against Ademalu, that was in the box. So if there is a call, it should be a penalty. And I think if you're watching, you're probably just as confused as I am. Because everyone in the booth here seems confused too. But an interesting spot to take a free kick from. Probably fairly rare that they practice from there. But McNamara will put this one into the box. He drives it low and hard into the 6-yard box, but Partis Proctor was right there. The ball will go all the way back to Matt George. George will lump it up to Phil Villella. He's unable to control it, and it goes to Partis Proctor. He finds Carrero, and Carrero's in. He's got a full head of steam, and he was looking for Emmanuel Isaac. Isaac gets whistled down for pushing over Hitesh Joshi, and that is your full time here from the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan. As we're all knotted up at 1 between the Oakville Blue Devils and the Woodbridge Strikers. He's facing off against Quillen Roberts. Quick stutter step, and Villella puts it in. Oakville go up 1. In our penalty shootout, he put it to the left side on Quillen Roberts. Set the bar here in the penalty shootout. See if Woodbridge can answer. And who else would it be but the man with ice in his veins? Emmanuel Isaac. Now is when we find out if he's still got his powers or not. Isaac steps up and puts that one in, and there was never any doubt about that. So he calmly slotted that one waist high to the right side, beating Matt George. Victor Gallo walks his way up to the ball. Absolutely no rush here. Gonna let Quillen Roberts think about this one. You'll remember it was Gallo in the first half who misplaced the ball that allowed Marcus Nunez to score. He'll try and redeem himself here. And he's saved by Quillen Roberts. Great save there by Roberts. Victor Gallo went low to the right, and Roberts read that one from the start. Met the ball 3-4 yards off his line, but you never see that one get called, so it is what it is. Luca Baldessari is in a real rush to get in there and try and score here, and he does, no doubt about it. Fist pump there. Woodbridge take the lead here in the penalty shootout, going up 2-1. Now Mr. McNamara, high school gym teacher, captain of this Oakville Blue Devils squad. One of the elder statesmen of this club, been Duncan Wild's coach for over 10 years. And he puts that one home coolly and calmly. It's not over yet, folks. Not over yet. Michael Fay, who's going to be our next man to step up and test his mettle here in this penalty shootout. Facing off against a man who used to play for this very Woodbridge Strikers squad. Perennial All-Star Matt George, and Fay casually walking up and skies it. Oh boy! What a turn of events here. I didn't want to say anything, but anytime you see a guy walking up to the ball as casually as that after he's already put it down, he's already placed it, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. Now we'll see if Al James can keep Oakville on top. And he puts it home. Great goal, postage stamp corner. Gotta love it. As Oh, I feel terrible here. That's actually Stephen Ademo. I thought it said 22. It says 25. A bit dyslexic. Stephen Ademo who scored that one. His accolades are, there's a long list of them. Curtis Proctor steps up. And he's saved by Matt George. Oh boy. Now this puts a whole load of pressure onto Braden Culver now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this could be for all the marbles right here. You can see the Oakville Academy kids jumping up and down here beside the Oakville bench. Players are all anticipating. Culver puts it in and he scores! And Oakville wins! Oakville are your 2017